Okay, I gotta help you out.
Good to go?
It's been a while. Yep.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Can we start with roll call, please?
Director Solomon.
Here.
Director Leach.
Here.
Director Jeffries. Here. Awesome, we have quorum.
Okay, let's start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? No, sir.
Director Solomon.
Aye.
Director Leach.
Aye.
Director Jenkins. Aye. Director JJ. Sorry. Director Jeffries. This is what happens when you get casual language in a full meeting. Apologize.
No problem. Any public comments? Anything online? No?
We received nothing from sorry, Jeff is trying to get in and he says it's not letting him, so hold on.
If you guys have a public comment later on an agenda item, just feel free to just raise your hand and I'll go acknowledge it. You need to hold off for a second?
Yeah, could you give me just 1 second? For whatever reason, this doesn't want to play along, so we're gonna forward this along.
Well, from the book of technology, and thank goodness, Graybill system is back up.
Oh, finally, gee.
Those poor people having, you're smirking, Mr. Roy. Those poor
Been
people.
through it.
I know, oh, yeah, and it was before the last big problem that we had. They just, sometimes they were, may have been a cyber attack. But their people look so much happier. And I'm having to tally by hand. I mean, it's like chisel and. But
It
they
was
did
6 or
it.
8 months.
It
right?
was 6 or 8 months. Wow.
How much they paid?
Yeah, well, this is gonna be the unknown, huh? Bad people out there.
Sorry, guys, for this little glitchy. It's giving me grief.
Roy, I heard this morning that new things are coming to the theater, like dance and
Mm-hmm,
other things. What's going on?
Well, there's an opera ballet group
yes.
that's coming up in a couple of weeks, which is kind of unique for Fallbrook.
Yeah,
There he is.
And it's 2 young women, sisters.
Yeah,
Go online and look at it. These 2 young women, I was knocked out in the lobby when we were at the movie and they were there and they were telling us about, unfortunately, I'm in Alaska, I can't come. But it looks like it's gonna be fantastic. These 2 young women,
good.
opera and ballet. They sang a little bit in the lobby. Terrific.
What's the date
24th and 25th.
of this month?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
there
that
he
sounds
is.
like an awesome little event there for sure.
Too cultured for me, but I'll get used to it.
I'm gonna buff you up there.
All right,
Yeah, we'll move on to.
Jeff Scott was able to join us, so he's online.
Okay, we
How's it
see.
going, Jeff?
Hi, Jeff.
We'll go ahead and move on to item D, consent items. Would anybody like to pull one of the consent items?
I would like to pull the finance committee report to make some comments.
Okay. Anything else, Howard?
No?
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the rest?
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion?
Director Solomon.
Aye.
Director Leach.
Aye.
Director Jeffries. Aye. Thank you.
and if you could motor over to the budget versus actuals. So we're at the end,
Report 2 or report
3.
3 for admin?
3 for admin. So we're at the end of our fiscal year in this report, and it's the on-ramp to our audit. And I think board members get a great benefit when they take a look at the 12-month totals. So I just wanted to make some comments about it. We're going to be mainly concentrating on the far right-hand side on the major, not the pieces, but the major endings. So what we're looking for in that percent of budget is something around 100%. Because that means our planning was good, we landed the plane, plus or minus 20%, not a big deal, as long as the bottom line stays within the parameter. So you might see, under our income, we estimated a certain amount, but it came in almost 108%. So we beat the clock and got 8% more income, which is great. Instinct tells us that's because of the new building. We can't control when houses are bought and the income starts flowing for property taxes, but we've got more to come. So this is a comfort level for us. Then if we go on down to community health contracts, expenses, where are we there? Thank you very much. So we landed that plane very close to 100%. And again, plus or minus, we don't worry so much. Then we go back down to total legal and accounting services, correct? That's our next one. That plane landed very well, right in the 100% mark. This is good use of our finance team's instinct about prior patterns and then estimating what else could come up to land it that well. Then we go on to total office expenses, 108%. We go down to payroll expenses, came in at 90.46. So anytime you're under, that's a good sign because we were budgeting conservatively and we came within the parameters of our projected desire. Then we go down to the net operating income. And you will see in the far right-hand corner, we came in with almost, well, 45% more of our net operating income. And then the net income at the bottom, 173%. So we brought in more. We managed our budget in a way on the administrative side that kept us within the 100% plus or minus. So that's a gold star for the finance team, and thank you. And now let's look at our lovely newborn, the Wellness Center. This one is interesting. So we're going to go up to the top under total income.
Hold on, this little guy gets in the way here.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to move. There we go. I used to do this a lot. I've gotten
Thank
used to
you.
Raquel being Johnny on the
I know,
spot.
you're doing well. Little remedial, but that's okay.
All right, thanks for that.
Okay. So we're in the staging process of programming and income for the Wellness Center. So you're going to see we budgeted 9,000 and we brought in 1,700 with the grand slam of 19% that we spent. So that's okay because we were in the experimental stage of what's going to happen over there. And then we go to the district direct care services and we budgeted 178 and we spent 64,000. So we spent about 36% of that budget. And then down to legal and accounting services that we apportioned to each of our two entities came in at 34% that we've spent. And total office expenses, we hit 104%. So that was pretty good guesswork on that. And then we go down to payroll expenses and we came in at 99.57. That's pretty darn good. Bravo, everybody who calculated payroll taxes and all of that. And then we come over here to the grand finale. And we have the bottom line of net income. We came in at 80% of projected.
And the point there, because this is in color and you'll see the red, which generally means a loss. We did not lose as much as was projected because obviously the Wellness Center does not create its own income stream the same way that the district does. So you're always going to see a loss there, but that makes sense. We didn't spend as much in district direct care services. So this is going to track, right? We're still hoping to get those clinical partners online, but
Yes.
until we do, we have placeholder funds for it.
So I thank you for the logic of that. Keeps me in the know on the big picture and for the hours it takes to account for each and every penny. Thank you, finance team, for that. And I'm very pleased with the outcome of our annual spending patterns and income patterns. And now we're already launched on our audit.
Oh, yeah, we're well deep.
You know, more late audits.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So will this go under bragging report?
You bet.
Absolutely. That's I really appreciate the effort on that for you and for the finance team. Awesome work. Yeah, that's really great. As far as the projections, it's great to see that and continue to look forward to seeing that for sure.
We do also need to have a motion to accept the financials since we were pulled from the consent.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion or? No? So Director Salmon,
Aye.
Director Leach.
Aye.
Director Jeffries.
Aye.
Perfect, thank you. That covers everything in consent.
Okay, move to a couple discussion items that we have here. E1, appointment of Director Salmon to Secretary of the Board. We just need a motion or?
I move.
I'll second.
I get rid and you get.
Yeah.
Yes, we were just gonna make a motion. They beat us to
I
it.
think any discussions warranted?
I'm proud to be nominated, and if passed, I'll take the office.
Sign some papers for sure. Awesome.
All right, so with that motion, Director Salmon,
Aye.
Director Leach,
Aye.
Director Jeffries.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, this should be a fun one. Year-end review from over at the Wellness Center.
Well,
So we got
this is an amazing end to the fiscal year. So this fiscal year will be the first time that the entire team was in place. And what an amazing team it is that has allowed us to do a lot for the community at the Wellness Center. So it is really, that part is really exciting. So we are seeing such positivity for the community. They are seeing how much has happened in a short ramp up period, you know, in the short amount of time. So this past year, you know, we have the stats for this fiscal year. So from June to July, we had 12,000, slightly over that, visits to the Community Health and Wellness Center. And so there's some cool things there. So 1,000 of those visits was for support groups. So everything from family caregivers to grief support, to the Parkinson's group that meets there. So that's a lot of great mental health. And we have, you know, Palomar Family Counseling now and above. So above and beyond what they're doing, we have these support groups that are working there. So we, with mental health, have also trained 120 people this past fiscal year in mental health first aid. So our total number is getting up there. I didn't look at it. It's got to be around 400. People. It's getting close to that.
Wow.
So that's really great because that's to, you know, filter out to the community. So we have this other level of, you know, eyes on the community and, you know, knowing how to help people and where to point them. So we had an amazing first you know, annual big event in Ion Health that, you know, Bianca put so much effort into and was a great turnout with over 300 people attending. So at the Wellness Center campus, and we made full use of every last bit of space there for that event. So that was a huge, you know, success this past year. In terms of the community part of Community Health and Wellness Center, we've provided meeting space for over 25 organizations in the community. From everything from, you know, some of our political groups to Encore and newcomers to homeowners associations. So there's a whole variety of groups that have come together to use space there. You know, our Wellness Wednesdays, that 242 people that have been out to those events, you know, that's getting your blood glucose screened. You know, there's, you know, 8 out of 10 people who have pre-diabetes are not aware of it. So that's part of, you know, trying to identify those people in our community, helping people keep track of their blood pressure in between doctor visits, as well as the educational workshops that are going on. So we're really starting to see a following for that. The community is understanding that. So, and we've had a ton of events. So, you know, we had, you know, over 1,200 1,237 events happening. So that's like what this team and Patty, who's not here too, is going through. So every one of those is the room ready? Is it in our calendar? Who's the contact person? What do we need to do? There's a lot of effort that goes to making that space available for all those events and meetings. So I mean, I'm so proud of everybody this past year and like what a crackpot team we've become. When one person's out, everybody comes in and, you know, makes it all happen. So it's really, really wonderful. One of the other things we're seeing, if you scroll down a little bit to, come back, let's see, go a little further to, new partnerships. We've had a lot of new partnerships this past year. So it's a little bit,
You want down?
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
not
I'm saying up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
So, you know, Scripps Whittier, who was a partner with us with, our agreement with Skinny Jeans, Live Well and the County of San Diego, we're actually working on an MOU with them. They were very impressed, with how successful, you know, the programming was at the Wellness Center, Interfaith, having services there, Fallbrook Family Health Center, Palomar, the food pantry with their little garden. There's a lot of, you know, partnerships going on, even with the San Diego Blood Bank. I called that out because that's something we've been doing for a while. But, you know, we have really had a lot of blood donated. It's been the most successful blood drive in Fallbrook. So we've, you know, are their most successful partner. So that's really great. And that's making a difference in our community. And then, so it's amazing. And, you know, our lifestyle change program has been a big part of that. So I'm going to let Bianca talk about that and some of our other programs that we launched this past year.
Absolutely, thank you. So yeah, as you know, the Lifestyle Change Program is very highly successful. We're showing some really amazing numbers and success rates as far as pulling people out of the pre-diabetic realm. In addition to that, we have a Tai Chi for Balance class that was very, gosh, the first, you know, the beginning was probably about 60 or so people that were participating in that. And then we also have our mobile unit, our relationship with Interfaith, providing resources and assisting our community members and, you know, writing up documents. It's a really beautiful relationship between Katya, Interfaith, and our community members that need a little bit more, you know, guidance on application processes. In addition to that, we've also have our counseling services. For this particular fiscal year, we launched our gentle fitness kind of program that has a bunch of different workshops from RX Ballroom to Be Well Yoga, Mat Yoga, Qigong. Those are extremely, I mean, I get calls even today, like, tell me more about this, like, oh, or, you know, people sending emails or leaving voicemails of how much it is that they're really enjoying the various programs that we have. And we also had, for that particular fiscal year, we had a Narcan event during a Wellness Wednesdays, distributed over 130 units of Narcan, provided education on identifying substances, you know, often found in any city. And then also, you know, we had the Mary Murphy with the fire department come and also teach on that. We do actually have another Narcan event that's happening this Saturday, just FYI. If you have anybody who wants to go, please have them sign up because it's filling up fast. We also had different workshops, Alzheimer's, dementias. We had a Food Smarts program, a collaboration with the county. We had about 36 plus students in that program. Very excited for what is going to happen with food coming up. And then we also have a relationship with Palomar Family Counseling Services. They are providing very amazing workshops as far as, you know, the kind of the emotional enough as you are, you know, or setting healthy boundaries, things that you often don't get, you know, at other wellness centers. So those were extremely well attended. CPR, watercolor youth class. And then we also have our Drive Smart or, you know, Age Well Drive Smart with the government offices.
State senator.
Thank you, State Senator. And then also putting the pieces together, just casual way for youth or community members can come and build puzzles and also engage with our Palomar Family Counseling Services. So we're doing a really great job on that part. Very excited for what's to come. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm kind of, a team of one on the community resource navigation. So I think in the last year, we were really able to see, and have the top three needs highlighted. I think housing, like I mentioned, I think before was always one of the biggest one. Senior needs, healthcare, but I think within that, I was also able to see how much we needed, application assistance. So I think in the last year, that was something that I've been working a lot with a lot of my clients. And that's really with, application assistance for really anything. It could be from Medica applications, filling out just documentation that they need to turn in. A lot of within that is also just, there is a lack of, health literacy, especially in the Spanish speaking community. So constantly, I think, I was also able to kind of, build some really good relationships with my clients. And I've had an ongoing services with them where they'll be coming back. I think I've been working with one of them for maybe over a year. Just because I'm constantly helping with a lot of that. So I think you can also see the total number of referrals that were coming in. That was 142, which is insane when I look at it that way. I was able to make referrals out for 69 of those people. So, and I think that really highlights the partnerships that I was able to build too, with Interfaith Community Services, Foundation for Senior Care, and Palomar Family Counseling Services. And we just continue to work together to be able to provide, as much support as, all of these clients need.
And you'll be hearing a little bit more about that as we get into the rest of the packet too.
In terms of partnerships, I just want to say how amazing it has been having Bianca and Katya and them working off each other, and just growing the district's name out in the community and with other organizations. Because as Bianca discovers something for programming, it may be a resource for Katya and vice versa. And so some things like bringing interfaith, on board and at the center has been a lot of that collaboration amongst the team. Everyone's really looking at how we can, best use every point of contact and partnership that we have. So
Awesome.
with the schools. Yeah.
Gotcha. Housing, that every day you see that in the paper, news reports. What are you able to do? What are the resources that we have?
I ask myself that every day. So most of the time, I'm usually trying to find different organizations that I can refer that can support them in finding affordable housing. Interfaith Community Services has been one of the biggest ones. Today I actually had a meeting with San Diego Housing Commission to try to see how we can maybe, a lot of their services are down south, but to see how that could be maybe another support for all of these families that have those housing needs. So it's just me trying to network and try to find different organizations that can support them in that area.
Wow, wonderful.
And may I ask, there was a time when there were advocates over at the Senior Care Foundation, and I believe there still are. Because I had interaction with that on Section 8 for seniors, trying to find person who was on the second floor who couldn't walk, get down. Are you running into that as well?
Yeah, we constantly work together. I think that I've also have been able to build a really strong relationship with them where they, we kind of bounce ideas from each other. If I have any questions, if I need any guidance, we work together.
Very good, thank you.
And then last but not least, we have all the lovely email marketing and social media as well as website visits. In terms of email marketing, our email subscriber list keeps going up. We haven't had any sort of severe drop. We're sitting at a total for that fiscal year of 2023, 2024, about 4,500. When it comes to actually new contacts added into the system, we had a total of 918. Particularly with that drop between September and October, our Eye on Health event was in September. So we got a lot of people signing up for our newsletter that month. So that's why it kind of dropped, but then it started to recuperate in November and December. Social media, in terms of Facebook and Instagram, we have more followers on Facebook. We're about at probably like 1,200, and then with Instagram, it's about 680. So that's another form of communication, and it keeps growing. People are following us, people are liking our pages. A lot more people are finding out about our events through those platforms, instead of just email. And then profile visit, that specifically is social media. So that is people actually going to the Fallbrook Regional Health District's Facebook page, or Instagram page. So with us having more followers on Facebook, we see a lot more higher. But Instagram is definitely progressing and getting up there. And then website visits is our actual homepage. So you will see it starts out in July, kind of dips in August, skyrockets in September, and then it dips a little bit in October. Specifically with November and December, the reason why there's such a drop is a lot of time with holidays. You have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, so people go out of town. And then normally January it always picks back up, and then because it's a new year and everybody's in that health and fitness as their New Year's resolution. But yes.
Could you go back for just a minute? I want to check out
Down or
that,
up?
that way.
Both.
No, that way. Okay, what's that 789,088?
So that is for the fiscal year, how many people visited the homepage of the,
Wow,
Our website.
for the fiscal year.
yes.
Okay,
So one of our very specific marketing strategies, and I'll use the word marketing because we all generally know what this means, is to have all of our flyers, have all of our things, direct people to the website to get the information there. This allows the website to capture not only those visits, but also then to impress upon the viewer all the different services that we've got. It's really been a good capture to push a lot of things that way. And I'll take our cat and take it out of the bag. So it has been a long time coming that we will be changing the district's website address from fallbrookhealth.org to fallbrook.ca.gov. So we will have that governmental part so that we can become even more of a trusted resource. That is a little bit of a, it's been a task. So we'll be, obviously, anyone who goes to fallbrookhealth.org, you'll still find us. We'll eventually set it up in a year or so that fallbrookhealth.org points to our foundation page.
oh, good.
And the fallbrookhealth.ca.gov goes to our main site.
Okay.
That has been a recommendation that's been coming through the special district world to designate governmental, small government, local government as still part of the structure. Helps set us apart from a Fallbrook Health and Wellness Service Center that somebody might just open up as a business. So just a side note on that. Anything else on stats from you guys?
Why was it tough to get that designation, that .gov?
You weren't there.
You gotta do it with the government.
Yeah. What do you think? You have to deal with the government.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of entities involved, depending on the type of .gov that you want to be. They break it out into 4 different subsections, letters that have to be submitted, applications that have to be looked at over and over and approved. So we've been working on this for a while and we're getting very close now, so.
And then we did put it on a shelf for a while and went, that's a later problem. And then later became now.
Yeah.
But it is good that they require authenticity, because anybody, if they didn't have those
Oh, you're not,
Extensions.
yeah, you're not faking it.
.gov, we gotta be able to trust it, and so I'm glad that they rinse it out.
Yeah.
Sorry, it made more work.
No, it's good. They look for our charter documents, it's very good.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the report. I agree with the social media. I think it's been crazy how it's taken off. I don't go on there very often, but when I do, I mean, the change from how it was previously where there really wasn't any versus now. I mean, I think that story is getting out there for sure.
Can you believe, Bill and Howard, but I know it, you know, you would call our attention to it a lot, thank you. But In our wildest dreams, did we ever think we would have 789,000 anything through?
That's true.
That is fantastic.
Some of the integration with the technology with the QR codes and some of the marketing flyers has
Very
been
with it.
good for sure.
Yeah.
So, and just overall, I mean, the entire year-end report, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better one. I mean, I think that's definitely the best one that we've got. And I think that we're out there making a great impact. So, really proud of the team and how well everything's going over there. So, great job. Thank you.
I'd also, I'd like to add, yesterday I had, my first organizing call with LAFCO on our MSR. Get used to the acronym. So the Local Area Formation Commission. Commission, basically the entity, every county has a LAFCO, and the LAFCO is responsible for making sure that special districts, municipalities are staying in their lane and kind of following the rules that they're supposed to do. One of the things that they do every 5-ish years is an MSR, a municipal service review. And what they'll do is they'll hire a series of consultants knowledgeable of the area, for example, it's a health district time of year, so they'll be doing the 4 California area districts. They started with us, and I shot out the gate because I had my 1.5, 2-pager stats and was able to just rattle off all the things we're doing and how that is relevant to our goal and our mission here to provide health and wellness services that are primarily focused around disease prevention and health promotion. And all of these stats I was able to pull up immediately because the team pulled them together, rattle those off, and pretty much make everybody on the LAFCO side be like, wow. So they're very excited to be coming and doing our site visit. So obviously we'll let you all know when that occurs as well, but they're quite excited to see the center and the kinds of programming that's happening today. So I get to brag. I totally brag.
And timing is everything. They'll be able to get here before construction starts.
That's the goal. Yeah, they should be able to do it sometime. In fact, the next few weeks is my understanding.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
Good
it was very exciting.
Yeah, well, that's why it's so critical for us to have all that data. It's great to be able to give it to them and just be able to prove what we're doing out here is so effective. So great job with that. All right, any other comments on E2?
No.
Okay, we'll move to E3, the employee handbook review and adoption. Obviously, you've been working hard at that one. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to review that. Rachel, anything on?
Really, we didn't have any changes. I had a recommendation from Director Jeffries to really make sure that we have clearly spelled out in the beginning of the handbook, especially, and then we have it sprinkled throughout the handbook, that all of our policies adhere to both, to whether it's federal, state, or local jurisdictions for regarding employment law. So minimum wage, anything related to labor law, especially for California. Judith has received her certifications for both the human resource divisions, the SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management, and then the public sector human resource.
Yes.
She did both of those, so that we could make sure that we are following the most consistent set of standards, not only within the special district world, but within the regular employment world as well. So you're gonna see those trends. There wasn't a huge number of differences you saw from the red line copy of our old one, which we did in 2020 to this version. There were some changes. Obviously, Jeff had opportunity to make sure that he reviewed and amended and updated and stuff and things. So it's ready to go when you're ready to say yes.
It is a work of art.
It is a work of art. It really, terms of art too. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, we put a pretty cover on it too.
Any questions? Anything you'd like to? Anything?
Good catch on your suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a couple notes that I made, just some quick questions. What do I have here? So I just was curious as far as the student loan program. That's one of the things. How exactly is that program work?
So the student loan program has a brief window that the IRS has allowed that to run, and that runs through 2025.
Yeah.
So our employee educational assistance program has always been that will help employees advance their education up to the IRS limit, which is 5250. Which is a funny number. What's been allowed and extended for one more year is that employees who have student loans where that education is relevant to their employment with us, we can treat like an educational reimbursement for education. So for this one additional year of 2025, if I had a student loan, I could take that benefit of the 5250 to help support that. We are still working out the specific logistics of how that would be done, whether we're paying directly to the student loan processor, which is generally kind of the preferred, but we're working out that specific set of details on it.
So is every employee just eligible for that maximum amount, or is there any sort of?
They're eligible for up to that amount, but they have to provide whatever receipt for their education. So if they took an educational program that was $300, they get $300. They don't get $52.50. But if they've got tuition above that.
If they had, like, say, if I was an employee and I had student loans from 10 or 15 years ago or something, and then I just had more than the 5250, I just put in an application, I get the 5250.
Yeah, as long as your education is specifically relevant to the job duties that you have with the district.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Well, it seems like a good program to take advantage of for sure. Couple other things I wrote down here. I saw the section with the meals. I wasn't sure if we were, I know there's some discussion of, like, I think that there was already a
Right, so
meal program.
that has already, what he's referencing is that the district provides as part of a benefit to the employees that we pay their 1 hour lunch break. So we had been trying to figure out exactly how to potentially amend that because we could not find timekeeping software that would allow that. There was questions around how that could be addressed, whether it was a gift of public funds, all these various conversations. So we reached out to Jeff. I reached out to you to talk about that. And we came back to a solution that as long as it is outlined and listed as an employee benefit.
Understood. Then we're good to go.
So we'll probably have a little bit more clarity coming forward on that, but it wasn't enough to make any changes in the handbook.
Understood, but
Yeah.
it's just the same.
It's just the thing, nothing has
Good deal.
changed, right?
And then, obviously, I think that I have some benefit related questions and discussion. Maybe we could have that offline. I think that.
Yeah,
kind
we're
of
still
looking at that.
waiting for more clarity to come back to us from CalPERS.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really change too much of what's in the handbook at this point. If it does, we'll probably want to make an amendment to that and incorporate it into the next version.
Yeah,
Because until we get feedback from CalPERS, we're in a hold mode.
yeah. No, I'm interested definitely in looking at that, and then some of the 401k retirement.
And those
things.
are all
Yeah,
tied together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So just that, and then just one other, I guess, one issue that I have with it was the section that was talking about searching employees' stuff. I wasn't, a big fan of the wording there. I think it says something about having the authority to search employees' personal cars or
I don't think it
conduct
indicates,
medical examinations. I think that's what
I think that's only in the drug or substance abuse testing. If there's a concern about that, but I don't believe it's in the privacy
I don't
section.
think it's in the privacy section.
Privacy section primarily has to do with, I have a drawer at my desk that I keep my personal belongings in. Technically that belongs to the district. So if I have reason to suspect or I need to get something out of that drawer, it's not your personal property. There's not chance that we would likely need to search anybody's personal belongings unless there is a concern about substance use on the job, and then there's very specific state level rules of how you must proceed on something of that sort.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at this right here. Sorry, I took a screenshot when I was looking at it earlier. Yeah, when issues of safety and security arise, employees may be requested to cooperate with an investigation. The investigation may include the
Yeah.
following procedures to safeguard the company: searches of personal belongings, searches of work areas, searches of private vehicles on company premises, medical examinations, and the like. I'm not a big fan of any of the employees having to do any sort of medical examinations for any reason, and I wouldn't be.
That's part of the workplace
It's tied
violence.
to the workplace violence program that had to be placed into effect on July 1st of this year. So they do specify, SDRMA gave us some of the information that's kind of required for us to have for our employees, so they're aware. In case you have a gun or somebody has thought you had a knife, then we have the ability to go through your items if you pose a threat, only if you
Should
pose
we
a
just
threat.
call the cops?
I was gonna say.
I mean, like, I don't think we should be searching anybody's stuff
We,
if they
we
haven't.
probably
should-
would not just,
We
do that.
probably would not
Yeah.
do that, but they recommend that you have it in the policy in the case that it happens, right? You're not opening the district up to liability. I
Well, there
think
could be another sort of liability if you go to search somebody's stuff and then they shoot you or something, right?
through
I
the
mean,
training they provided, and we've given the staff the videos and the training, and we had a 3-hour session that I came back with from SDRMA about the protocols to follow in case of workplace violence. So you're right. Most of it is call the police if you're unsafe.
Yeah.
It is, because there's really nothing that you're gonna do against somebody holding a gun. You're
Yeah.
just supposed to assess the situation and figure out where you feel it's, you cut off for the safety perspective and the liability perspective. Then they gave us recommended wording, though in their processes and protocols, best practices are to call the police. So they just have it there more from a risk management perspective. They're not encouraging anybody to partake in those activities because you are putting more at risk following any of those.
Yeah, I feel kind of uncomfortable about it. What about the medical examinations? What's that?
that has to be, I believe that it's still part of that, and that has to do with, let's say we'll pick on me. Let's say I'm having a psychotic episode. And I am potentially a harm to myself. You could relate me back, let's say the police called, you're gonna want to have a physical examination before I can come back to work.
Oh, it's a return to work thing?
It's built in, it's
Doesn't say
built
it
in.
like that.
No, it's not a return to
Yeah.
work specific. It is specifically to make sure that that employee is safe, that I'm cared for. Again, it's all part of that same language from workplace safety.
Yeah. I'm not very comfortable with that. Like I said, I think that if the practical policy is that we're not gonna be searching people's cars or, subjecting them to a medical examination, then we shouldn't put in the policy. I
Is
think.
Jeff still on the line?
He is.
Yeah, maybe you could make some comments on that, Jeff.
Hold on, Jeff, you're muted. Oh,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can go back and revisit that. I share your concerns, but there are, we live in a very complicated world, and we have to be careful both from a workplace violence situation and also try to maintain some confidentiality and personal rights. So, I mean, I think that we're happy to go back and look at that, but we have to be very careful in this day and age with respect to workplace violence and be able to take whatever necessary steps. I think as a practical matter, if something like that arises, we're going to call the police. We're not going to get involved. These people are not going to be taking steps in their own hands. But it is comforting to have some ability in there to do some intrusive work if necessary for health and safety. So what I would suggest is we go ahead, move forward, but we'll go back and take a look at that and make sure that we're careful about following all of the regulations and rules so that we could explain this better. I mean, I think that would be the approach to take this evening, but it's up to you guys. Unless we have something specifically you want to delete, we can, I feel more comfortable if we could come back and advise the board on those issues from a legal standpoint.
We had to do this, if you can believe it, for the art center. We're required to have a workplace violence deal. Ran into the same thing. It seems very layered here. But is the language that we chose to put in there required language?
It is the recommended language from SDRMA from a risk management standpoint.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time,
yeah,
following how, you having the right to search the employee's car or have any of them have a medical examination has anything to do with workplace safety or violence. Like, obviously, workplace violence is an issue. I've taken all this same courses or whatever, so like, I get it. I think that it's obviously a serious issue, but, I can't think of a single scenario where, asking the employee to, I'm gonna search your car and like call a doctor out, otherwise you're gonna get fired, how that like improves anybody's safety. Like, to me, like, that just escalates the situation. If there's any sort of issues, I would prefer that the staff just call the cops. Like, if somebody needs to be removed, if there's any sort of like suspicion that they have drugs, like, I would like, I feel uncomfortable with kind of the wording of the medical examinations and the searches of their cars. I get it, their workplace, your computer, if you have your stuff on your desk, okay, like, but anything beyond that, I think that, I would be good with Jeff, maybe looking more into that, but, I just have a hard time supporting like the wording of medical examinations. What does anybody need a medical examination for workplace safety? I mean, I want everybody to be safe, but like, if there's no like practical reason, like why we would do that, or in real life, we would actually do that, then I don't understand why we would,
put it in there.
put it in there. And then with the threat, the next couple sentences say basically, if you don't cooperate, then you could get fired. So like, I mean, if it's not clearly spelled out exactly what the reason is, then at some future point, somebody could be like, hey, take a medical examination, otherwise you're fired. Like, and I mean, I don't know what the plausibility of that is, but like it being in the employee handbook, I mean, it seems, I don't know, a little extreme to me.
I'd like to make a motion. And first, I'm gonna ask a question. We currently have an employee handbook, right?
Correct.
It's in place. And so my motion would be to table this one until Jeff and others come back with the legal position on that. And so
Would you be open to approving the rest of the handbook, pull that section so that we can just keep the rest of it updated? There's other pieces in there that have to do with some employee benefits and some other legal pieces that I'd like to have updated, but we could pull this section and table it until Jeff has had an opportunity to research it with us to come back with different language in that area. Are you?
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Are you so the motion would be to approve the handbook with the exception of the safety and security section for now?
Yes, that's my motion.
I'll second that.
Very good.
I'm good with that. Just,
Okay.
I guess one other piece before we move on and
Yeah.
have the vote. The employee, vacation and sick time. How did that change between the two policies?
We've increased the amount of time, by about a week. Did we go up? We went up a week. And then we also recognized and mirrored a couple of the same federal holidays that hadn't been before the 2020 version. That is just more in line with standards that other groups are also following. So we're trying to just be consistent with other special districts and or San Diego industry.
Awesome. I think that you guys definitely deserve it. So for sure. Ready to vote.
Okay, all right, so we have the motion on the table from Howard. And who was my second? I'm sorry, me? Jennifer's the second, making sure.
We got two choices.
Great. I'm just getting it on the record. Okay, Director Solomon,
Aye.
Director Leach.
Aye.
Director Jeffries.
Aye.
Thank you. So we'll pull that safety section. We'll converse more with Jeff on that, and then we'll bring that back to a subsequent meeting.
I appreciate it.
Great,
Yeah,
thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Thanks for letting us move forward with the rest of that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the employees' safety is of my utmost concern, so definitely looking forward to that for sure. Okay, so what have you got here?
We did our fiscal thoughts already.
Right, but I do want to make sure to call out, because we went into the reporting, that we did have a recommendation from the finance committee to do our transfer
Yes.
from the community development disbursements to reimburse the operating account. 202. Sorry, I hit it in all my notes here, and now I can't find it. I want to make sure we get the right number.
Okay.
So we're looking for a recommendation to transfer $245,000 back from LAIF back into the district operating account to reimburse for development expenses, especially those relating to SiteLogic, which was the bulk of those expenses.
I will make that motion to get to conversation.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Okay. Director Solomon,
Aye.
Director Leach,
Aye.
Director Jeffries.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have fiscal year 23-24 fourth quarter grant impact reports from Michelle's Place and Fallbrook Senior Center.
Right, and that was gonna be Raquel's section,
Oh.
but I'm gonna wing it, because I read it too, obviously. So this was the Michelle's Place grant from the last cycle, where we were supporting their mental health support for individuals going through cancer.
Right.
And hold on. That's the actual report. So that was part of the storyline. And they sent this great picture of two couples who are dealing with a cancer journey, where Michelle's Place was able to provide them essentially kind of a date night to
Oh,
be able to provide some normalcy back into.
did they cook
that life.
together?
They went to Dream Dinners and did the cooking experience through Dream Dinners.
That's great.
So that was part of that story, and it'll. How about if I read it, because it's really
Yeah.
short, so the audience. On May 28th, Michelle's Place partnered with Dream Dinners to hold a Spice It Up date night. 6 couples were invited to learn how to make simple, nutritious meals for each other, while the behavioral health team led a conversation on maintaining intimacy in a relationship after cancer. One couple that attended were Fallbrook residents. Heather H. reported that Michelle's Place hosted date night, Dream Dinners in Temecula, and it was a blessing to be included. My husband has not been active with Michelle's Place, and it has always been a place for me to get support, be active in art classes, and make friends going through the same challenges that I am. This time he was able to get involved and meet other spouses. Michelle's Place has and always does go above and beyond for their clients.
Very cool.
So that was a nice story. And then the Fallbrook Senior Center, for their congregate meal program,
Mhm.
submitted this fun picture of these individuals enjoying lunch at their congregate meal program. And make it down to the story part. Copy of their social media things. They also included these handwritten notes.
Mhm.
It's wonderful, nice, healthy meals and at a good price and great company. There are a couple of benefits I enjoy. First is the variety of foods. If I eat at home, it would be the same thing over and over. Second, I like talking and listening to other seniors. We can talk and relate to things from the past that are gone today, like gas that used to cost 25 cents. And medical issues that are mostly age related. So again, as we all know, that the ability to have the social component is such a large part of what that congregate meal program is able to provide. And so the district's funding helps to make that possible for those two groups in particular. So that's what, we wanted to make sure that those impact reports, we'll single them out and bring them to different meetings so that they can be just a little bit more visible. We obviously do put all of these on the district's website, so anybody can see those impact reports at any time. But sometimes it's different when you get a chance to call it out or have one of the entities come and do a presentation.
So,
thank you.
all right. Do we have any board member comments or items for subsequent meetings?
I have 2 comments.
Go for it.
Okay. So we have our CASA representative here tonight, Jessica, as one of our new partners. I just wanted to say I got to see CASA in action with a family that is in a foster care situation, and 7 hours in the juvenile court and 4 more, and then postponed, and we go back in August. And I watched the CASAs. There were 4 of them working 5 cases, and they are winged beings as they go back and forth from the kids to the judge to the social worker. I mean, it is an amazing array of people trying to help families stay together again. And I just wanted to make note of that, Jessica, that seeing it in action, I believed in it from the words, but seeing it in action, I understand more fully how critical the CASAs are to these families who are trying to stay together, and judges that are trying to do the best thing for the kids. It's a really tough deal. So I just wanted to mention that since you're here tonight, Jessica. The other was able to go to the San Diego Night Out Help or Safety Fair that was put on. Did anybody else go? It's cool. Watch for it next year. First of all, CHP, sheriffs, the TIP program, right? Roy Musa sitting in kind of on a throne and helping us know that we're in the right place. They had beautiful cars. It turned into a car rally too. And there were some that were, they would, they're
Doing
the
their national night out.
National Night Out.
Yeah.
And they had the Rat Pack cars there
Okay.
that in all of their dishevelment are absolutely fantastic. And one of them had a rat on, like what is that they called on a hood ornament? This really great rat hood ornament, and those guys were hilarious. But I will tell you, one person asked, I had my badge on. What happened to the hospital? That took a little
10
while.
years later.
Yeah.
Related, Jennifer, how do I get my birth certificate since the hospital's gone? I was born there. I said, I'll talk to you, call me. Then there were 7 people who were wowza on the Health and Wellness Center, which was great fun to hear about their stories. And it was just, we got such validation. And North County Fire, which was the predominant host of this, I believe, they were all there with their trucks. The kids were just, you know how they are with fire people. Yeah. And the fire people were just so great with the kids. I hope you thought it was a trip, Roy, a successful deal.
Well, we put 2 on this year. We're hoping to do 3 next and 4 the following.
Well, people were just loving it, and thanks for all that effort. Is that the Village Association doing that?
Village Association was the sponsor, putting it on, and then the cars were provided by the Vintage Car Club.
Fantastic, fantastic. So we're well known in the community for good things. That's what I can tell you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I do have, it's kind of a question. I heard again this morning that the food pantry, Fallbrook Food Pantry has got severe financial problems. And so I don't know if anybody can confirm that, but secondly, if that's the case, we probably need to see what we can do to help.
They are always fundraising.
Yeah.
They will always be fundraising. That is the nature of the nonprofit world. I can reach out to Shay to find out if there's any particular need.
Yeah.
It would be difficult for us to be able to stand up anything in a start of the fiscal year that's not budgeted because.
But if we can get the word out and we can try to help. So, yeah, it'd be great to hear whether that $100,000 was mentioned, so.
Yeah, they're in a fundraising pitch right now. If you drive by them, you'll see their big.
So the
thermometer.
fact that they're raising money may not mean they're in trouble.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Do they have a big goal in mind for that money?
They do.
What is?
It's a lot of increase, a lot of their programming. They've also had an increase, like everyone, the cost of food has gone up. So they have to purchase and they get bulk pricing and there's a lot of resources, but they still have to spend a lot of money buying food. So folks who can donate cash is always probably preferred. But for those folks who can also make food donations, that's always.
Thanks.
Thanks for the heads up, Howard.
Yep.
I just have just one quick thing. I think we just had the filing deadline for the election. Looks like we're gonna have a.
Midnight tonight.
Is it tonight? Okay, well, looks
For
like,
the final.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, Howard, just wanted to congratulate you for, another term. Looking forward
Happy
to
to
working
do.
with you and,
Yeah. Good to be
also
back.
want to congratulate, Ms. DeVito. Thank you for, putting your name in and looking forward to getting to know you and, serving on the board with you. So
Yeah.
congratulations. Thank you.
And I did meet with the other candidate, Annabelle,
Okay.
who has also filed, and she's very enthusiastic. She owns the Busy Bee Indoor Playground.
Awesome.
So she's a business owner, a mommy, 2 kids. It's just a match made in heaven in terms of intergenerational perspective.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to see her. And I don't know whether she has an opponent or not. We'll have to wait till tonight.
She does not.
It ends at midnight tonight. Okay, well, I'm just saying.
I feel.
I never can, my chickens don't queak until they are there, you know?
Well, I
Yeah, I
do
think
have,
my first time in, I went that last night. There's a lot of people that showed up that last
Exactly.
night, for sure, yeah.
I do have a meeting scheduled with her next week.
Great.
To also walk through district information, a pre-onboarding process.
Yes.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, if there's anything I can do, feel free to reach out, anything I can do with the other, board member, glad to help any way I can, so welcome aboard and welcome back aboard.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Howard.
Thank you.
So we have some upcoming events up here. They're listed on the agenda. We welcome you to attend, and other than that, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just a reminder that we will not be having, thanks, Jeff. We will not have